Thank you everybody. And after two such great presenters, I think I'll be a little bit boring for you, but I'll do my best. So thank you for the first two presenters. Thank you for all the insights you gave us. And I'll start to introduce AKFI. I'll give you more details at the end. But I want to mention our partnership with Connect and Future Processing, an ongoing partnership which we're very keen on promoting and helping, as Christoph mentioned, with the questions of ESG and sustainability. And as Therese mentioned, and she's together with Jean, to our Board of Advisors members, I would like to salute them and also to mention the fact that they will continue to support us in our relationship with Connect and Future Processing. So today I'm going to talk about the future of business. I'm not sure how many of you heard or looked at the Industry 5.0, but I promise that at least at the end of this presentation, you'll know a little bit about it and you'll understand the transformational power of the Industry 5.0. If we go into the history of the Industry 1.0 to 4.0, there is a clear trend. It follows two things. The first thing it follows is the type of energy that it's used in order to produce goods and services. Starting with the around 18th century, the steam power and water power, which was actually older. You can look at the mills in Holland using wind and water as an example. Around the 19th century, the progress in physics resulted in the use of electric motors and producing electricity, which we still use in larger and larger quantities and has more and more impact on the environment and on the social lives. Starting with the 70s, the big mainframe computers leave their well-conditioned rooms to actually land on our desktops and eventually in our pockets. And this created, together with the networking, the opportunity for Industry 3.0. Now we are in the full development of Industry 4.0, which is, as Christoph also indicated, it's about data and it's about digital transformation. So the trend is followed by a social trend. And looking back from the 18th century to the 21st century, we liberated the humans, but we also put the humans through a great deal of transformation, individual transformation, social strife, the continuous growth of the human species in the world, resulting in depleting the environment of resources. So humans were good and bad to the digital transformation. But we promise 5.0, Industry 5.0 will change some of these things, and I'll explain how. So let's start with what fueled the Industry 4.0. As I already indicated, Industry 4.0, it's about robotics, it's about cybernetics, it's about AI, it's about the Internet of Things. I didn't say one important word: humans. It's a focus on technology that is very powerful. We hope we can master it and have the technology not master us. But if we're looking from an ESG, if we're looking from a sustainability lens, we can see that these technologies accelerate the use of raw materials. These technologies result in designs that are for the sake of digital products. If you don't believe me, just look for a Tesla advertising if you want. And we're creating more and more non-disposable goods which fill the landfills, which create problems, and create problems actually in the most disadvantaged parts of the world, because the Western world is capable of shipping their garbage to third world countries. And it's very little talk about recycling, about putting back the raw materials in the nature, taking out the carbon dioxide we produce in huge volumes, and other gases like methane and nitrous oxide and so on, which is very harmful to the environment, very harmful to the ecosystem, very harmful to the animals, and of course to the humans. So what is the challenge of Industry 4.0 that it's right in front of us? And the challenge is how we put together, how we integrate together the sustainability, the ESG, and the digital transformation that fuels Industry 4.0. Why is this challenge? These processes are starting to exist at different times. ESG and sustainability came into recent attention, but they are 20 or 30 years old in making. We knew about the effect on the environment. We knew about the effect on the ecosystem, but we kept moving on and on in the search of more good for people and on more profitability for companies. So I'll focus for a second at the sustainability in the three bottom lines. This is an ongoing process, and I'm really encouraged to hear that very recently the Security and Exchange Commission in the US, it's asking now companies to disclose the amount of carbon dioxide, greenhouse gases that they emit. This is still in process of being responded by the people, responded by the community on how exactly to be done. But we see finally an encouraging trend in the integration of the ESG and sustainability with Industry 4.0. Moving on, what changes, what needs to change, what has to change, and what we have no choice to change is the Industry 5.0. And I have to mention that the European community is ahead by promoting Industry 5.0. And the Industry 5.0 is a human-centric industry model. What you can see in the picture is that the first thing, the human is at the center. And how this manifests into the design, the manufacturing, the products and services, the recovery on of the materials we put in our products, regenerating them, reusing them, returning them to the environment. So to pause here for a second, this is the first time I hear about design for disassembly. We spent hundreds of years figuring out how to assemble things, but today, Industry 5.0 is designed for not only assembly, not only efficient assembly, not only reliability of the products and the services, but also the ability to disassembly, the ability to create a circular economy where the raw materials return to products for humans. So it is very encouraging, it is emerging, and it is really focused on the environment, on the preservation of both the society and the planet. And we should stop here again for a second and talk about digital transformation, which it's evolving now to a human-centric. We are starting to touch sort of the edge of what we call the Metaverse. These are human experiences. We are still learning how to use them properly. I'm sure there are also many companies of thinking on how to use this kind of technologies to manipulate humans. So we have to be also actively involved in making the technology work for us, for the human slaves. I'll continue with the Industry 5.0 and the introduction of the digital transformation. Therese already mentioned it, so I'll go really quickly, but many times digital transformation is considered and referred to as being just solely the digital technology. And I have bad news for the companies that focus on just digital technology and hope that the transformation will work for that. Most research shows that about 70% of the investments they put in digital transformation do not work out if you do not look at social, if you do not look at culture, if you don't look at the business imperatives, if you focus solely on profitability, on efficiency, remember the little robot in the Industry 4.0, and forget about the humans. And this is the cost the companies pay today. We're talking small and large companies. So member of the Chambers of Commerce, really, really, really try to understand the digital transformation. It's here to stay. And you have to look at the people, at the culture. You have to look at the technology, of course. You have to select the best technologies. I'm sure Christoph is taking notes to that. And I'm sure he will answer my call. To move toward the final slides, what we put together at AKFI, and again, thank you, Jean, and thank you, Therese, and of course, thank you, Lala, and the Connects team, and Anna, and the Future Processing team. But we put together a model, a framework that combines three major forces, and we call it, the 5 forces. We are not the first in the business to mention the 5 forces, but these 5 forces are now. These 5 forces are the ones which drive Industry 5.0, and there are a combination of ESG, the economic, the social, and the governance, a combination of sustainability, again, the profitability in the economics, the social and the environmental, and last but not least by far, the digital transformation, which has economic impact, social impact, environmental impact, and as I mentioned, if not properly governed, is not properly used. So I'll conclude my slides with a brief introduction about the AKFI. We are a growing organization. We have a stellar board of advisors. We are in the process of recruiting companies as members, and our purpose and our mission and our vision is to combine, to integrate the digital transformation, ESG, and sustainability integration into actionable frameworks. And to still align from Christoph, this purpose, it came before 5.0. We didn't make it for today's presentation or for 5.0. So concluding my presentation and looking forward to your questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Manuel, and thank you for highlighting the human-centric approach. Really, really insightful.